Hello, Sari. Welcome in. Just for the notes, today is Saturday, 11/16/24. Cooking shoot time. Hey, Jen. Hello there. Welcome in. Glad to see you're feeling better. Theo, hello. Yep, I was getting ready to start it here in just a minute. We're going to do a little American, we're going to do a little Japanese, and we're going to do a little bit of Chinese. I'm kind of winging it. A bit better, but still tired. Yeah. I honestly think, I hate to say it, that you might have something out of sync in that headset. Because it made me sick too, remember? Darkness! Hello! Welcome in. Congrats on first. Really might honestly have something out of sync. I don't know. I obviously can't say for sure one way or the other. I was fine the other cat. Well, yeah, but that one you were on the ground and you were not moving. But you also had. You remember the errors that kept happening, where the screen would go all wonky. I don't know. You might want to try reinstalling the drivers and stuff. Might fix it. Don't know. I don't want you getting sick though. That's not good. I don't think so. I think it was only with NVR. It was like when you went through a wall or something like that. It wasn't that it was clipping. It was that it was completely like desynced and it was like an old VCR losing track. I don't know what else to tell you on that. That could have been the game, though, you know. It could just have been the game. Entirely. Looks like another G-Force driver update a couple of days ago. Yeah. Possible. I'm gonna pull up just a second. Just getting all the veggies and things out of bags. We're gonna do our prep work a little more universally this time. first one today has become one of my favorite kinds. I'm gonna kind of just randomly select stuff for this one. We'll do a little differently. I got some skirt steak. It's actually top round steak in this case. So we're gonna make it with beef this time, which I don't normally do. Something else too. Can't forget the chilies. The death chilies. Gotta have the death chilies. I don't know what the lifespan is on these, but they gotta come out of the fridge. They've been there for like 3 weeks. Look fine, but I don't want them to go bad on me. About the limit for how long I keep carrots too. All right. Are we ready to get going here? I think we are. Here we go. Today, we are going to do basically a Chinese dish, a Japanese dish, American dish. This first one is going to be Thai red curry, but I'm going to do it a little differently, and I'm going to go completely off grid. So this ought to be pretty awesome. We're going to take one of those steaks right there. These nice new fresh steaks. I swear this grocery store is much better than most of them. Look at the quality. The quality on that is a lot better. And we're going to make our Thai red curry here. Then our second one is probably going to be our American one here. I've got a favorite thing here, one of the places that I'm not supposed to eat at. We shall not mention the name of the actual place, but they've got a burger on their menu called the Flamethrower Burger, and it's got a very special sauce on it, and that's really the only thing that makes it distinguished from everything else. Doing some research, and I figured out, I think, how we can copy it. The copy, from my understanding, is actually better than the original. This is the funny part. And our third one is going to be, I've done mapo tofu before, but I did it with pork. We're going to do this one with mushrooms. I've got some red shiitake soaking right now, and I've also got some fresh shiitakes. Those were, oh my god, those were so expensive. Holy shit, those were expensive today. It was $6 for like 4 of them. They were literally almost $1 a piece. Or they were $1 a piece. Holy crap. But I've still got all of our doichi and dojun bang jiang and a few other things in the cabinet, so we're going to use those. I got Sichuan peppercorns too, so we're going to make a nice spicy, minty one. I can see that we've reversed sound quality again. I gotta bring up the mic and drop down the audio. Hey, is it Kazia? Welcome in. So there we go. That's a little bit better balance. You can probably hear me better now. So we're gonna slice this up nice and thin. We're gonna make it into like little the kind of thing you would have in like a loose sandwich, like a Philly cheesesteak. We're gonna have our sugar snap peas. We're gonna have sprouts. We're gonna have green pepper, onion. We got a big old hunk of garlic here. We got some baby corn. We got our coconut milk. I got the last can of the really good stuff, the red curry paste here. And I've got some water chestnuts, carrots, our green onion, and I've got four Thai chili peppers. This is gonna really do it here. I'm also going to add. I'm going to do this a little differently. We're going to make some more. We're going to make some more sauce for this than we do normally. Normally we use 1 can of coconut milk and we use 1 whole can of this paste. Now, according to most of the recipes, you use half of this and 1 whole can. But if you do that, it's going to be very, very mild. So I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. Name was taken, so I changed it. So I had to do the number. Yeah, that's the same reason I've got the 2. That guy won't give up the name, and he never does anything, and he doesn't use it. So now I'm just stuck with it forever, right? Now with this one, I'm going to add some beef broth to it. We used a box of it last week, but there's actually still quite a bit left, so we're going to use it this week before it goes bad. We'll just add in the beef broth, and we'll use that as part of the sauce to thicken it up, bring it up a little bit. Now, let me grab a picture of this, and we'll get started doing our prep work. Two times I went into the other room to get the phone, and I didn't do it either time. Oops. All right. Get this turned around here. Now, I've got 3 or 4 cans of this red curry paste, but apparently people have been moving them around on the shelf, so I actually don't have 3 or 4 cans of this red curry paste. I have Penang curry paste. I have red curry paste. I have Kang Kwa, and a couple others. So we're gonna use our next to last red, and when I go back, I'll get like 5 more of them. We're gonna be doing a Thai red curry here, but it's gonna be with beef this time. I've done a few of these, but not with this combination. This is a lot of veggies. This is a lot of beef, and we're gonna have a lot of sauce with this one. We're also going to make some jasmine rice as well. I'm going to get that started first. This will be a very, very tasty recipe here. It should be quite filling as well, and fairly low calorie. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Let's start off doing our prep work, because it's going to take a while to cook regardless. So the rice can go in a little while. I'm going to move all of our cans. Hey, Kelly Jer, welcome in. Is it Jer or Jare? I'm doing pretty well. Thank you. I really was trying for the Twitter. Hope you. I'll have to take a look. I was getting ready to, like everybody else, to start stripping out my Twitter account and removing it because of the AI problem. But thank you for the follow as well. I am over on Blue Sky. That link is under the stream as well. So we're going to go ahead and start chopping everything up, getting everything ready. I am going to use the white bits of the onion here in our recipe today. Let's get going, shall we? Get our roots. nice and fine here. Next section. Kind of holding out a little bit, trying to hope that things will get better, but they're not. So I'm gonna have to abandon ship too, like everybody else. All right, so there are the whites of our onions and the lower part of the greens. We'll use those in our recipe here. Now, let's get our greens here. We'll get them all ready to go. We'll put them in a separate jar, our bowl. Oh, there's gonna be a lot today. In the bigger bowl. Trying to kind of shave them a little bit rather than cut nice thick ones. Didn't quite cut all the way through there. Oops. Still looks pretty good. This time of year, these onions are looking pretty good. All right. So we've got the whites and the greens. Hey, Zoe. Hello. Welcome in. How you doing? It's been a little while. All right, these are very, very spicy. They are also a bit acidic, so if you start cutting these and you're not used to it, they will burn your fingers. Be careful. Doing okay? Just had dinner? Oh, that's good. I'm going to take a minute here to cut these nice and thin. Just take the time to do it. The flavor is better distributed instead of having big chunks. So there are 4 bird's eye chilies right there. Quite spicy. Be careful. Next up is our garlic. Cut the stem off. Top of the bulb. This being elephant garlic, it peels quite easily. Just pops right off. cut this up pretty finely. It will get very sticky, so you're gonna have to keep cleaning it up. Another dish. We'll do light blue for both today. We're going to get a little feedback from the mic. Let me turn that down just a little bit. There we go. I don't want it to feed back on us. How hot are bird's eye chilies? Hotter than, say, jalapenos? I don't think I've seen bird's eye peppers. Okay, so I'm not sure about the Scoville scale on jalapenos, but I do know that habaneros are about 50,000, and they're about roughly four times hotter than that. These are on the order of 100,000, so these are another scale up. These suckers are hot, my friend. Very, very hot. Now we are going to bisect our carrots, but first I do need to skin them a little bit. And that's why it's important for those, if you cut them nice and thin as much as you can, so that they distribute better in your mix. These are still not those Asian carrots that we occasionally see, but they're not too bad today. I don't know what kind of carrots those are, but I need to get a few of them. Those suckers are as big as your wrist sometimes. We'll cut the tips. Just the tips. This old dish set, these bowls here are from my old dish set. And this is from the very first dish set. This is the only one left. I've gone through 3 of these, and I swear these are the ones that I end up using the most because I just use them for cooking. Our serving sets are very, very different. All right, so by bias cut, I mean you're going to cut these on like a 60-degree angle. You're going to cut very, very thin and very, very long. These are long carrots, right? There we go. So you get that nice wide profile. Cook right in. Now this time our primary profile is our beef shank here, which we're going to cut up here, or beef steak that we're going to cut up here in a minute. But also our veggies here. So we're not going to cut these in tiny little ribbons this time. We're going to cut these in like bite-sized pieces. Get Better knife for gutting that. The other one has a kind of a round nose on it. It's difficult to pierce down into this easily. This one, however, is fine for this. We're just going to remove the pith. I know Mike Tyson's been back in the news again lately. You know, he's actually a pretty religious guy. He always hits people in the faith. Okay, that one was bad. I'm sorry. It sure is getting dark early outside. Oh my gosh. Alright, so we've got some nice beautiful flesh on this one. You want to try to avoid it when these are part of the focus. Try to avoid all of the ones with cracks and stuff on them. You also want to use like four or more lobes instead of 3. The 3 lobe ones are a little bit more sour or bitter. I don't remember which. But they don't really distinguish against that in the store. So we're going to cut it into relatively thick slices of about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Not internet inches. Do it for real. Boy, I'm full of it tonight, aren't I? Drop that right out. Let's grab another bowl. We'll have to do our peas here in a minute too. So nice chunky sizes, which are good for poking with a fork, right? Don't leave any parts that are just too thick. There we go. 1 diced up, roughly, pepper. Now, let's see what we can do about the onion. We're going to do the same thing with our onion. We're going to cut it up into nice chunky pieces. Again, just doing this one all on the flat of it. I think what we're going to do, we're going to fry up the onion a little bit first, and then the pepper, add the pepper, because the onion and the pepper are going to take longer to cook than everything else. And we will fry up our steak as well, and then we will start making our sauce. Or very, very spicy sauce. Once that starts cooking, we'll add everything back into it. So nothing big deal, no big deal. It's just kind of a process that'll take a little while, not too long. This type of curry is just all prep work. It's one you can easily handle yourself. I had there was an elderly lady that used to run a Thai restaurant here in town near my work. And I really hated to see her retire, but she told me one thing right before she left, and that was Thai food is all about process and not about recipe. So once you figure out the process and how you want to do it, you'll be able to duplicate it, no problem. I had just started learning how to cook really at that time. So here are our onions. We're going to make them roughly the same size. Just break them loose. So we got nice bite-sized pieces. That's a little too much core right there. We don't need this whole onion, so we can toss the core chunks. Break. Break. So pork chunk. So this will be nice and tasty when you do this. We're going to just cook them until they start getting a little bit soft. We want them to keep some of their crunch. I'm going to cut a little bit more off this end. And a little bit more off this end. There we go. Toss them in there until they break apart. Just toss them a little bit. They gotta have their salads tossed. So they're nice and loose. All right, our sugar snap peas. And I'm working on making a cottage shepherd's pie with beef instead of lamb. Yeah. I don't even distinguish between the two anymore. All right, so we got sugar snap. That's the smart thing to do. You start cooking at the same time I do, then you don't get hungry. Basically, I'm just gonna pull these strings that might be here. We're gonna leave these intact. You can see how much veggies this is. This is a lot. This is a lot of substance. A lot of substance. This is my main dish this week. Strings. I think that these have all been stringed. We do need to make sure these cook. These take a little longer to cook too. So we want to make sure that they simmer long enough. You know, to be honest, Darkness, I think the 2 times I've made those, both of them have been cottage, as you call it. Cottage, as you say, instead of shepherd. Mainly just because I did the same thing. I couldn't find the lamb, or the lamb was too expensive, so I just got beef. Didn't change the recipe any. We'll start cooking all of them here in just a few minutes. We're almost done. I really hate the fact that I have to buy these in bags because there's lots of them in there that don't look so great. I've had to throw a bunch of them out. We are going to use the wok for this today, the inexpensive one that I bought. I'm going to burn a little oil into it first because I had to scrub it. After the last time we used it, it got pretty caked on. But, you know, carbon steel wok, no big deal. Let's burn a little more oil on it. Keep going. I can't honestly get it hot enough properly. I can make one piece of it hot enough, not all. Alright. So there is all of our veggies for this mix today. Now next up is our beef and our cans. Now the cans, of course, pop these open. Now, I'm not going to be a purveyor of what they told me to do previously. What they said to do previously was to skim all of the cream off the coconut. I'm saying don't do that. I'm saying mix it into the coconut milk. That is where the creaminess in the heat comes from. Especially since we're adding a lot more heat to this. Now our baby corn. Oh. I am just going to have fun with this today. I am very extremely tired. So, we're just going to have fun with it. And why shouldn't you? This is more of an experiment than anything else today. So why not have fun with it? I'm going to rinse the corn off. The reason I'm doing that is to get off all the extra salt. It's always too much. Yes, canned veggies, you can get years and years and years out of them. You could probably get a few years out of date with them half the time. But the minute you do that, it's because of the salt. All right, a can of paste. I also am thinking for this one that I might just grab one of our. You remember a couple of weeks ago I bought some fresh lemongrass, the full stalks. I think I might go grab one of those cut ones out of the freezer. I did freeze them, so we have. And then our water chestnuts, to add a little bit of crunch to this recipe, we'll add these in last. We got so much stuff in this one, don't we? But we're not using all of it. We're going to use the appropriate amount. Whatever's left, we'll set it to the freezer. I've got room. I have a full freezer downstairs, which I turned off because I wasn't using it anymore. All right. All we got left is our steak. Now, I don't want to cut the steak on the wood board. Or our knife that we're going to use for vegetables. So we'll use the other cleaver and the other board. That said, I'm sure everybody's started experiencing how the prices of everything are going up, so we're going to be a little conservative today on how much we spend. The total bill today with what I already had is about $56, I believe, for the food. Simmering and the potatoes are ready. Yeah, here you go. So this is it's a fairly thin steak. I'm going to put the other one in the freezer back right now, so give me just a second. I do enjoy a good steak, but I am not going to be that inefficient with the use of my food right now. It costs too much money, so. All right. So there's that. We'll get another bowl. Make sure to use a lot of bowls here, don't we? You gotta have a whole set of 8 just to be able to cook. I just have a tasty chicken thigh, chicken. I'm even gonna put a little salt and pepper on this before I cut it. Because we're gonna fry this. Pop it right back out. So I'm going to try to cut this, kind of back cut it, the little strips. This will cook very quickly. This even looks good all the way through. Look at that. There's a nice color to it. Basically, cutting it at this angle makes it a little thicker. I probably should cut them in half. Sure, they'll shrink up and break. If not, well, then you get ribbon steak, right? We will be ready to start. This bit's a little thicker. Now I'm going to have to use a little bit of a hotter smoke point oil for this. So you can use any kind of neutral flavored oil you like, but generally we tend to use peanut oil, I believe, for this. Canola. And there's our beef. Try to keep the mess at a minimum today, but I say that every week, and 50% of the time we succeed. Last week it was terrible. We ended up using every single bowl we had. I had to run 2 loads of dishes. Don't worry, I'm not forgetting about our rice. I'm going to pull everything in order here. Now when we start the curry, when you start the paste first, you want to actually fry that paste before you get going with the rest. Releases the flavor. Wow. That'd be a fire engine. I haven't even turned the stove on yet. Oh no. This stays. These. This goes in the dish. We are ready to go. Alright everybody, we're going to eyeball this one while we're working on it. And by eyeball it, I mean we're just going to kind of estimate based on what we got in front of us. So let's get started, shall we? Move that camera over a little bit. Alright, I'm going to go a little hot on this one, so it's going to be about a 7. We might do the burgers last, I don't know. We'll see. Now the wok will heat up pretty quickly since it's so thin, so don't wait too long. Peanut oil, I can Oh, let's use the sunflower oil because it's almost empty. It's pretty high melting, burning, smoking point, I should say. Sunflower oil is pretty good for you. Must be listening to certain people. Who I'm not going to talk about. I can hear it starting to heat up. We are ready to rock and roll. Wow, that's pretty close. What's going on? Give me just a second. I don't see anything on fire. Except for my oil smoking. I don't know. Alright, our oil is smoking. I did say we needed to burn a little into the pan. That's what we're going to do here. Just a sec. We'll get it nice and hot. Something's on fire, I guess. It might be a medical emergency, I don't know. I don't see any evidence of it. I don't smell anything inside. Well, a little bit more oil. Bring the heat down just a touch. We're going to start with our beef. I know I'm allowed to use metal, but I don't want to. I'm just setting up the rights while we're doing this. As I said, it will cook very quickly. think that's probably done well enough. I know there's a little pink here and there, but don't forget we're also going to be putting it in the simmer sauce too. And it's got a nice color to it, so we're going to leave that over there. Next up, we're going to put in our onion. Just a touch of the oil. And they're going to quickly soak up all the juices from the, you see that? They're already soaking up the juices from the beef. Hope it's your office or I'm here. I don't think they need any help for me setting things on fire. They're pretty good at it on their own. All right, we got 2 cups of rice. So I need to get 2 cups of water. We'll get that started. I really like this rice cooker. It was worth the $40. Yeah, I know. All right, now we'll add in our peppers, our garlic, not all of it. There we go. Isn't that looking good? So our rice is started. Now the music's too low. I can see it. There we go. So beef, pepper, and onion. That's what we're doing. Hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. And I hope I make you really, really hungry. Oh! I almost forgot one of the most important things. Our clear line here, which is a little bit freezer burn. You can't have a red curry without the clear line. That's where all the flavor is. Alright, looks like they're starting to soften up. It takes a few minutes. Our garlic's getting absorbed. I don't want it to get destroyed. Alright, so let's make a little room here. Let me grab a spoon real quick. Now we are going to make the spice. The spice must flow. Boom. Boom. I was not kidding. The whole can. That's how you know it's getting fragrant. There we go. That alone right there is enough for you sometimes. But we're going to go a little further. You can go to our hard veggies. Carrots. Here lime. Hot pepper. Add a little bit of the raw garlic here. Some of our onion. Oh, that smell. Oh, yeah. Now, this is where we need our beef broth. There's way too much stuff in there. Just don't forget about corn too. I'll add in the water chestnuts at the end. We'll let those sit. I think we're running a little more beef broth. I'm gonna make it more juicy than usual. Oh, doesn't that look good? Ah, to you it's all yellow. Ah, shoot. To me it's kind of like a reddish orange. I really wish I could figure out how to adjust that color. It's got to simmer now for about 10 minutes, maybe 15. So we got a couple minutes. Let me see if I can fix it. Hanyo. Oh, Hanyo's not here. Okay. Bring down the brightness just a little bit. Oh, that's too much. That's a little closer to the reality. We want to get a nice little simmer going with this. You don't need to add any spices to it. This can is the perfect thing. Now, the reason I haven't put the beef back yet, beef is almost done. We don't want to overcook it. It'll become tough and chewy. So we're going to put it in the last 5 minutes or so. Now that this has started simmering, I'm going to put about a 15-minute timer on it. And we're just going to chill for a few minutes. Anybody got any plans for what's left of the weekend? I know when I come in here, I'm usually about halfway through. I know I need to do a bunch of yard work and stuff, but I know I'm not going to do it. I really should do it, but I'm not going to. Now these bean sprouts, anybody know what they actually are? You get them all the time in all the different recipes. They're not just alfalfa. They are, in fact, mung bean, M-U-N-G bean, mung. I'm trying to figure out where all the little peppers went that I put in there. They're gone. I only see like one. I think we can probably go ahead and toss in the rest of the carrots too, to be honest. The balance looks pretty nice. 10 minutes, they'll all be soft. The only thing you need to do is you need to remove these kaffir lime leaves before serving. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Color fixed. I really need a camera person. See, those snow peas were all, or the pea pods here were all starting to dry out, look a little weak. Now they're all puffed up and nice and green. We got about 10, 11 minutes on this one. We got about, I don't know how long on the rice. It is steaming though. Rice cooker is steaming. I've got one spicy pepper left. One jalapeno anyway. Put that on the serving plate. It does, doesn't it? It looks really good. now we're just going to spend the 10 or 15 minutes cooking up our veggies. We will add in our beef and our last remaining couple of items. Let them stew for a couple more minutes. You see how easy this is? You do not need to spend $37 at a restaurant to get this. If you want to spend more than 37 though, you can invite me over and I'll cook it for you. That smells just wonderful. This one dish alone is enough to feed me most of the week, if not almost all of the week. If I'm being honest. But who wants to eat the same dish every day? It's not the best option. We have about 7 minutes left on that simmer. We're going to let it simmer. Oh, we got a commercial running. Oops. Let's take a look. I can see it's bubbling over from there. I'm going to try and keep the stove clean while we do this. Sometimes I let it go too far when I'm in a hurry. This was unsalted beef broth, by the way. Unsalted. Completely unsalted. We are going to add a little bit, probably about a teaspoon, of cornstarch to this when we're done. It will thicken it right up, turn it into a nice thick sauce. You can also use potato starch if you have it. We have about 4 minutes left. Then we'll add the rest. Gotta be patient. Because honestly, I'm really hungry. I haven't had anything to eat today. The burgers I'll be making, probably one of them will be my dinner. But my burgers won't have 2,700 milligrams of sodium. Because that's just insane. Give one more good stir here. I don't want my veggies getting, and I know you might be wondering, but I don't want my veggies getting all super soft and squishy. In this case, I want them to have a little bit of crunch left to them. So that's why I'm not cooking them fully, all the way through to the point where they're soggy. I don't like that. I don't like that. Excuse me. Alright, there's our 10-minute cooking session. So let's add a little more. There's our beef. And here comes the crunch. Yep, putting all of it in there. that cook for another 3 or 4 minutes. You're in about 3 minutes. I think we got the timing about perfect. I'm not sure we could have timed that much better. Huh. The rice will be done about the amount of time we need to cook everything into the beef. All right, there's our 3-minute alarm. So now we'll go to the end of it. I'm going to add about a teaspoon or so of cornstarch to this. We're going to mix it in thoroughly and let it thicken up a little. You can make a slurry with it, mix it in, but I don't think we need to with this much liquid. There we go. See, look at that. Just the eyeballing it. We got it about perfect. It's thick, but not too thick. It's got some nice consistency. Okay, let's switch over to here. All right. Turn the stove off. First off, we gotta get the rice. Nice and fluffy. Grab that. Seems like it's a little wet. Surprise. Might have added a little too much water. Good thing I had done that. There we go. There's the first half. Now our second half. Just because I have the fingers of steel, don't do that yourself. Still have quite a lot. Look at all that. Can't even fit it in the bowl. Hey, Caffeine, welcome in. Late again? You're not really late. This is our first dish tonight. You're doing just fine. That's about 90% of it right there. We're getting ready to do kind of an American classic kind of deal here in just a minute. So there we go. We got our Thai red here. My own little recipe. Nice and spicy. Very, very spicy. A little bit of raw pepper there for you. You are ready to go. Originally, I think we were kind of established that I was primarily doing Indian dishes, but it looks like I've really got the hang of the Thai as well. There's our first one for tonight. Oh, thank you for the follow, Joshy the Newt. Welcome in. I attempted a homemade jerk sauce with poblano and habanero. How spicy was that? Did that come out nice and did it grab your attention? Where did my camera go? It started. There it is. So let's get a picture for the final here. We're going to get started on our next one. I don't want to bias the pictures too much. I want to make some good ones. Because I've made a couple of bad ones recently, and I didn't want to do that. There we go. Okay. Alright. Well, that's one tiring one done. This is enough. This is enough for 6 people at least. With everything that I've made tonight. You can make this one dinner for 6 people. So just keep that in mind. Alright, let's move this off and we'll start working on the second. Our second one tonight is going to be kind of a knockoff recipe. Oh, I'll eat some of this now. So there's a little restaurant. Been around for quite a few years. And they make kind of a specialty thing that they started about 8 or 10 years ago. It's called the Flamethrower Burger. It's one of their signature things. They've got about 2 or 3. I spilled a little bit of sauce here and there. But I found out that there's a way to duplicate that sauce. We're going to try that. What if you're eating for like 3 people? Well, you know. That's how it goes. Dinner's being made, always get hungry. If I'm not making you hungry, I am not doing my job right. That's the honest truth. All right. So our next one, I got slightly lazy. Okay, I got very lazy. Went ahead and got the green grade lean burgers already made instead of doing it myself. Because they can do it a little more evenly than I can. What we need to duplicate this recipe we need some good lettuce. I'm not using that iceberg crap that they use. We need Greek yogurt. We need some pepper jack. We need a can of chipotle pepper and adobo. We got some Greek yogurt. I'm not hungry because I just ate. Still feel bad. Yeah, sometimes that happens. And I believe we need, yes, a couple of tablespoons of some ranch powder. I know it sounds a little strange, but this buffalo style sauce has got ranch powder in it. I had made my own a couple of months ago, so we're going to use what's left of that. You can buy it. It is in packets. But I found that it is difficult to actually find it. I just got store brand. But this is pretty much it. You can do it with this. A little salt and pepper, of course. So let's see if we can do it, huh? Oh, we've got a pun redeem. Let me try to think of one here. I'm trying. You have Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning by the boatload. Yeah, that's the stuff. Let me try to think of one that isn't related to Mike Tyson today. Let's see. I need to sit down for a minute anyway. You know, no, not that to me. I could think back to some really old movies, and one thing. I was at an outdoor restaurant one day trying to eat a bowl of soup, and when it started raining, it took a whole 2 hours to eat that soup. Oh my God. Imagine how that looks on film. And of course, you only get spoiled milk from a selfish cow. Alright. I'm going to stop there. So basically, all we got here, we really don't have a whole lot. This is easy to do. But what we are going to do, we're going to make it slightly better. I'm going to add a little Worcestershire sauce to our burgers. And of course, we're going to salt and pepper them a little bit. And we are going to make our sauce. Our sauce consists of 2 cups of our Greek yogurt here, and the entire can of the Chipotle, and about 3 tablespoons of this powder. This Hidden Valley Ranch type powder. It isn't the Hidden Valley Ranch. I made it myself, but still, there you go. Now, I lost my camera again. There it is. Ugh. We will get a picture here. All of this is going, the reason I'm getting pictures is, of course, because I'm putting this all in Discord. If anybody would like to join the Discord, you're welcome to do so. The link under the stream is the permanent link. But we do manual verification, so let us know you're there before you start just disappearing. Because we are checking it manually. We have a great team of mods, and we have a really good database on there, and I don't want to lose it. So we're trying to be careful. I do have some community nights here and there. They're just kind of random. Where I will, I'll run movies and things like that. We've got plenty of things going on, but we do keep it quiet so we don't overrun everybody and we don't overload them. Because I do know that you get a lot of pings from a lot of different Discord, and I myself, I can't even handle much more than about 15. So I don't even have as many as most of you. So I understand. I absolutely understand. Let's get started with this, shall we? Cook all of these. This is going to be kind of like my dinner deal. But we have one more dish today, too, on top of this. Ah. Are you kidding me? Okay. I gotta cut everything because all the little tear-off strips don't work anymore. Alright, we got pepper jack for this. All this stuff is easy to get. Yeah, this is easy to get. This one is not hard at all. And that's why I say it's not worth was $16, I think, for this. Not worth $16. I only know this because, well, yeah, I paid for it multiple times. So we're gonna grab our blender here. We're gonna get 2 cups of this Greek yogurt. Now they don't use yogurt. I know what they use. They use mayo. Mayo is not good for me by any means. We will be making delicious burgers. Nice and spicy. I'm gonna mix up our yogurt a little bit. This is Greek yogurt, so it is a little thicker. And this is just the store brand. You can see how much thicker it is. It isn't like regular yogurt. Regular yogurt's pretty thin. Alright, we need 2 cups. This is going to make a lot of sauce, just so you know. A lot of sauce. It's a half cup. It's half. One. I made sure to keep my dishwasher empty today. Just 1.5. It's close to 2. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more. All very easy. Now, if it's not quite right, I will let you know. And I will make adjustments myself before I post it. Anybody else that decided to make anything from what we post, and they make adjustments, and the adjustments are even better, please just let me know, and we'll add it. I've actually done Vegemite mayo mix. Vegemite mayo mix. Okay. Alright, next up is our chipotle pepper in adobo. This should be pretty liquid. Kind of like a peachish yellow color. Now we got 3 tablespoons of this. I'm not a super fan of this, but we'll see. I'm going to trust the recipe because it had 4 stars and they said that it was a direct copy. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. It is fairly spicy. It should be fairly spicy. Start it up. We're gonna let that blend. We're gonna get our burgers ready. Alright, it's really started moving now. That's good. Spicy, I like spicy unless it's pepper X and then it's a little too far. Yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and break directly on here and just put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. When we put them on the pan, we'll just flip it over and add the same. Not too hard. And we'll switch over to the stove. There's our copper pan. It's starting to show a little wear. Alright, the sauce looks pretty good. I am gonna scrape the sides down a little bit and run it again. Wow. This looks exactly like it. Wow. Made broccoli hot and mac and cheese recipe. Really nice, but he wanted to spice it up the second time, which made it hotter. Oh, okay. Honestly, this sauce looks pretty close. It really does. It's a little more light color, a little bit more whitish, I would say. But that's very likely because we're using yogurt instead of mayo. Sprayed this down with a little bit of butter spray. I'm trying to make our burgers taste a little better than the normal. Let's be honest, what do they normally use? They normally use vegetable oil and grease, and they just let the burgers seed themselves. And that's just not good. We're going to use real lettuce, green lettuce, instead of the other stuff. Iceberg. Ooh. I'm doing too many things at once here. Wanted to spice it up the second time, yeah. If you like spicy stuff, you're on the right channel. I am going to make all of the burgers, but I am not going to make all of the burgers completely. This is going to be eaten during the whole week. So we're gonna make the burgers and then put them away. Then I'll make them as we go. But I will be making one, of course, for the final here. It's not quite hot enough. We'll get there. I've got an entire brick of fondue cheese here just waiting to be used. Glad it has a long date on it. That is correct. Dad Cat has got a fondue cooker. And it's not just any fondue cooker, it is a 1972 Japanese special. Alright, we're on medium heat here. I'm going to put a little bit of stuff on these. And I will get back to chat in just a second. Give me just a minute. There we go. Ever had cheese with apricot white chocolate? I have not. I have not ever actually had fondue. I have the original unused pot for it. I have the original forks and everything else, but I have not done it yet. And I'm not quite that old. A little more Worcestershire sauce. A little salt. A little pepper. I think our pan isn't actually hot enough. I can bring it up a little. I'm going to bring the heat up a little bit. But I do have the correct stuff. We might do this one day here. I've got the original Swiss here. The real cheese. I just got it about 2 weeks ago. So we might just sit down and do it. One recipe loves doing, he's better than at baking. He bakes chocolate chip cookies but adds a pack of vanilla or chocolate pudding. Interesting. If you happen to get a chance to try it, I think you might. Okay. Taco meat into it. Whoa, hold on. A little bit of chat went by and I missed it. Hold on a second. Roommate made a broccoli mac and cheese. Okay. We'll spice it up. Had some leftover taco meat and gave the kick. Okay. Taco mac and cheese with some greens. I just made some spicy mac and cheese just a couple weeks ago. Very similar to that. Eat 17 of the cookies. Yeah, I don't do baking, but yeah, I understand. These are going to end up great if they don't get hot enough. I'm going to bring the heat up a little more. You don't want gray burgers. Our stove's a little bit more predictable than it used to be. There's at least that. Because I put new burners in it and everything else. I'd rather repair a 30-year-old one than buy a new one. Eat those cookies like crack. Links, well, welcome in. I didn't get a chance to say hi. You came in right halfway in between. I'm part Links. Look at the ears. There we go. Now it's heating up. We're starting to relax a little bit. I'm going to drain a little bit of the liquid out. There we go. I made, the first time I'd ever done it was last week, actually. I made 2 apple pies. And it turned out, well, one, it was supposed to be a recipe for 1 apple pie, not 2. But we ended up making 2. I took them to work, and everybody said they loved them, so I'm going to take that as a win. I might be able to do baking. We'll see. Cooking and baking are 2 different things. Baking, you have to be pretty precise. With cooking, I can just throw it. Pour it in a hand, throw it in. This is 1 pound of beef. It costs about $8 now. They at least did not jack up the price. Be aware, unfortunately, however, that prices are going up on everything. So just be ready. Our last one tonight is going to be our mapo tofu. We're going to have to make some adjustments. You can't use silken tofu because it's just not available right now. We're going to use a firm, but not an extra firm. I am going to use Sichuan peppercorn and not powder. I'm going to have to grind it. And we are not using beef for this one. We are going to use mushrooms for this one. I've got shiitake soaking for about the last hour and a half or 2 hours now. We're going to squeeze the water out of those. And I've got some fresh shiitakes to add to it as well that we're going to cook. I've also got the bean paste, the fermented chilies, everything we got ready. Alright, these are about done. I don't want them to dry out though. Woo. Tonight's been a bit long already, huh? Alright, let me pull that out. Now we've got one more thing to do here. I'm not going to use that pan. We'll use this one. A little butter spray. We're going to kind of toast the buns a little bit. Of course, if you're doing this for 4 at a time, it's fine. Ready to go. Might also help if I don't forget that I turned the oven off for a minute. We got one more dish tonight. This one's intended on being dinner here and there. Our last one is a mushroom mapo tofu. Coincidentally, for anybody that's still here, I have posted the previous 2 weeks' recipes today. And I intend to do a few more tomorrow. We're going to get caught up pretty quick. Recipes will be posted. I'm going to have to take about a 3 or 4 minute break in between. Just so you know. I'll have to be right back after I do this. See how that's turning a little brown? That's how you know it's actual butter. Soak it up. That's a good thing. All right. Oh shoot. Have I really been running that long already? Wow. We're a little toasty. We're good. Alright. Switch back over. So we've got our burger here, our juicy burger, and our butter buns. Some leaf lettuce rather than the junky stuff. And our copycat sauce. If anybody knows about this, you'll know that this looks almost exactly correct. Nice and juicy. So there's our second one for tonight. Alright. We've got one more tonight. that is our mushroom mapo tofu. So I am going to have to take about a 5-minute break. I don't normally do this, but I am going to have to do it. So give me just a minute and hang on. I'll be right back. Okay. Took me a minute, sorry. Sometimes it happens. What? Eventually I'll cook the right thing. Alright, so we have our burgers. We have our copycat burgers. I think it cost about $8. Well, it cost about the price of one to make 4. So that's not too bad. That's pretty good. Next up, our last one for tonight. We're going to make some mapo tofu. I know I got to do at least one vegetarian recipe every week, right? And the answer is yes. I'm trying to reduce the amount of meat that I'm eating. So let me rinse off our board and we'll get started. Mapo tofu is normally done with pork. But we are not going to do pork. We're going to do mushroom. Mushroom mapo. And for this one, we've got some expensive mushrooms. So we've got our tofu, and as I stated earlier, we can't get, I don't know why, but we can't get anything other than the firm. We actually need silken for this one, but we can't get it. So I'm just going to have to use the firm. I have 100% authentic, real shiitake mushrooms. These were very expensive, unfortunately, but we have shiitake. Now, there's not enough there, so we are going to use some Bella mushrooms. which we do have available to us to fill in the difference. We've also got some dried shiitakes, which I've had soaking for about an hour and a half now. So that's okay. Now for this one, we need several ingredients. We need cornstarch, we need vegetable oil, we need ginger. We also need the peppercorns, which are used for Sichuan. We also need some spicy fermented soybean paste. And I believe this is called doruchi, which is chili soybean paste. We need 3 cloves of garlic. 3 cloves is normal sized garlic. I've got mega gigantic garlic, so we're going to use 2 of those, which is probably still more than 3. We need a dried, they want a dried chili birds actually, but I'm going to use fresh ones. And again, like our first recipe, you can adjust these to your taste. For me, a little bit spicier is better, so I'm going to use 2 of them instead of 1. We need some soy sauce, some sugar, and our scallions, and some toasted sesame oil. We've got the toasted sesame oil. We still have our white part of our scallions here, and we've got the green wherever it disappeared to. Right here. Got a lot of stuff for this one. And soy sauce and sugar. Frequently in these recipes do call for sugar. It is standard white sugar. About that much. It's not much, there's a little bit. And I use low sodium soy sauce for everything. Even though you may not need it, I suggest the same. You can get it just as easily. They also made Jamaican beef patties. That's the difference. Alright. This is the whole contents of this one, so I'm going to get a picture of this. We'll just set these up here. Shiitake. I'll try to keep all of this visible so that we have it in our picture. Want to eat my burger. Taking care of dinner dishes? Okay. We're about to start our last one today, our mushroom mampo tofu. start off, we've got, I just kind of estimated the amount of mushrooms needed for this. So we're going to squeeze out and cut up our dried mushrooms, which are now not so dry, and our crimini, or not crimini, our other shiitakes. Few things out of the way here. We'll measure these out here in a minute. Don't have a lot of use for this soybean paste. I need to use a little more. So let's go ahead and start up with our little bits of vegetables and things like that. Let's go ahead and get those ready. We've already got some garlic. May not need that much. We've still got about half of that, so we're going to pull one out. And our chilies. For chilies, where did it go? Shoot, okay. Alright, let's start with our chilies. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to chop them up nice and tight. Very, very small. Chilies. This is going to be kind of hot if you keep the seeds and everything else. Keep that in mind. All right. Next up is our garlic. Same thing. The end off. Got the tip off. Just the tip. Give it a little smash. Pop that off. Add a little bit to the existing. Just gonna waste it. Alright. Now, we've got our mushrooms and our other mushrooms. I know I don't have enough of these. These are the shiitake mushrooms. We don't have enough. But we're going to use what we got. There's a little mushroom growing on the big mushroom. We're going to try to preserve as much of this one as we can. I'm going to keep the stems. These are supposed to be ground up, But honestly, I don't want to ruin them like that. So we'll keep these, at least these mushrooms, intact. Just sliced and fried. Alright, there we go. I apologize if these are too expensive. The honest truth is, yeah, they're too expensive. These were $7 just for this little 3.5 ounces worth of mushrooms. But those are prepped now. Now let's talk about our bellas. Bellas we're going to chop up. And these we need to dry out. Mushrooms we're going to chop up because these are replacing the meat, quote unquote. Normally this dish is made with pork, as I mentioned earlier, but today we are using mushrooms as a replacement. Honestly, this is a good replacement. Just takes a few minutes to get the job done. Normally you use ground pork for this, but we're basically using ground mushroom. I'm not going to use all of them, we're just going to use most of them. I'm going to have to go a slight bit faster. By going faster, I mean making a bigger mess, right? Trying not to. This is a big one. I bet you he was a fun guy at parties. I know, that was bad, sorry. these cleavers have this type of cleaver, this Chinese cleaver, has a little bit of a curve to it for chopping. That's how I'm able to roll it. This is not a standard U.S. type of cleaver. Honestly, I think I got enough right there. The rest of these mushrooms can go in an omelet. Okay, next up. These mushrooms. These are our. These are the shiitakes over here that have been soaking. As you can see, they're very wet. We're going to chop these up. If not, then we press the water out of them. Hey, Astro Art, welcome in. Press as much water as we can out of them. That's not too bad. These have been soaking for quite a while. 20 minutes per the recipe is definitely not enough. It takes a few hours. Especially if you've been buying them from a source that they've been sitting for a long time. Alright, there is our dried shiitake, which is now wet shiitake. Alright, let me look at the process, because I've not done this with mushrooms before. Alright, we let them rehydrate, that's fine. We squeeze the water. Alright, so let's measure out our pastes and our other things. So we need a tablespoon of minced ginger. We need a couple of teaspoons of this and that. Let's go ahead and get those. Our soybean paste, we need about a tablespoon. Put a little extra in there. We're going to grind that up just a little bit. And then with our other stuff, we need a tablespoon of this one and a little bit more. This is our black, oh shoot. Our black soybean paste with chilies in it. Haven't used this in a while. There's that. We need about a tablespoon of cornstarch. We need a teaspoon of peppercorn powder. So we're going to have to use our grinder for that one. Because I have full peppercorn. It's been a little while since we brought our little shador unit out. It smells very festive at the moment because it's still got the cinnamon and sugar in it. We'll rinse that out. Smells so nice, I didn't clean it out. There we go, nice and dry. I'll make sure it's extra dry. Alright. Now this one we need about a teaspoon of our Sichuan peppercorn. I'm going to put a little bit more than that in it, obviously. Let me grind these up. This does a really good job of this. Unfortunately, they don't make them anymore. Yep, we got a little bit more than what we wanted. That's perfect. There's our sugar from earlier. There's our Sichuan peppercorn powder. This does a great job of grinding. It's a very good unit. You can pretty much use any coffee grinder you want, but try to use one with a cup in it rather than the large ones. Alright, so there's our Sichuan peppercorn. I think we're about ready. Now we do need to make a slurry out of our cornstarch, and I do need to cut up our tofu, so let's do that. Our beans here, I do need to grind those up a little bit too. This is fermented soybean. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back end of an ice cream scoop, just kind of grind it down a little bit. It grinds it down fairly well, but it's not the greatest. Shoot. I am making a mess tonight, I swear. All right. Next up is, well, really our slurry, but I'm not going to do that. Get our tofu done. It's supposed to be silken. It's supposed to be very soft. Fortunately, we don't have any. None available. So we're going to have to use this, which is a little firm. Which is fine. Take our brick out like we normally do. We're going to do the same thing we always do. Cut it in half. Cut it in half again and again. Keep it together. Half again. And again. And again. Halfway through in the middle. There you go. You make that part of it. Now you do need to squeeze it down a little bit. Try to get some water out of it. This tofu is going to be very, very wet. But since this is still the firm tofu, you can press it a little harder. I almost crushed it. A couple places. Alright. This requires our wok again. So I'm going to have to rinse that out. Give me a second. Still have a lot of sauce in there. I just had to dump it in our main dish there. Luckily, it looks like our oil burned in properly. We don't have a whole lot of leftovers. It's that one more time. I'll start heating it up. Woo. So here's our process for this one. We're going to squeeze out all the water from the mushrooms. We're going to squeeze out all the water, blah, 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 blah. We're going to heat up our wok. We're going to add our shiitake mushrooms until they're brown for about 3 or 4 minutes. Lower the heat down to a medium. Then add our a little bit more oil. Add our ginger, our dolbanching, Sichuan, our garlic, our chili, and anything else until we get kind of a sauce, and then we toss in our little bit of beef broth in this case, and a little soy sauce and sugar, and cornstarch slurry, which we haven't made yet, and part of the scallions. And then we'll just let that run until it's glossy. So let's go ahead and measure out a couple more things real quick. We've already got our sugar and our powder here, but we also need to get our cornstarch slurry. Let me get that ready. The slurry is, of course, to thicken it up because we don't have any fat in this. We need about a tablespoon of cornstarch. Not that much. A little bit of water. You want to use a fork for mixing this. You just want to make it like this. Keep turning the little bowl here. Mix it in like that. This is the slurry I mentioned earlier. Okay. So let's get started cooking our mushrooms. So it's burning off water right now. It's not burning off any oil. I haven't put any oil in it. There's the rest of our sunflower oil. Don't worry, that's all the water burning off. We'll let that sizzle for a minute or two. All right, our oil's starting to smoke. Here we go. This is our dried shiitake first, followed by our fresh ones, and then our bellas. I could not bring myself to ruin those expensive shiitakes, so we will have them retain their little bit of shape. Mustard than it called for in this one. That's fine. They will shrink down. Probably a little more oil. They've already dried that up. That's fine. I got a little more. There we go. This is essentially the same thing as any other mapo tofu that you would make. We're just using mushrooms, that's all. And you do need to keep stirring the slurry after you start making it. We're going to let them cook just a little longer, and then we'll add in our garlic. I should have done this one last, huh? Or first, or second, a little bit of second. Now I want my burger, and it's already done. All right, there we go. They're starting to brown a little bit. You see how they're shrinking down? Get our garlic in there. And our chili. Where did my spoon go? We're going to lower the heat just a little bit. There's our chili paste. And our soybean paste, our black soybean paste. Sichuan, sugar. And our tofu. bit of liquid to this. Simply turn it away. So we use a substitute. There we go. And there we go. It's still good. We won't add the cornstarch mix for another couple of minutes. We're almost done tonight. Fun part comes tomorrow when I have to box everything, right? Whew. I'm getting awful tired, y'all. It's a lot of work. All right. Let's see. I want to give the tofu enough time to soak up some of that spicy juice, so we're going to give it a couple minutes. We also need to add a little bit of the scallions to this. We will do that. Just a minute. The tofu doesn't need a tremendous amount of time to cook. We're not frying it tonight. There we go. Color's looking better. Mixing better. There goes our scallion. A little bit of green. I told you I wasn't going to waste it tonight. I turned the heat down, but I honestly think I need to turn it back up because it's not cooking quite fast enough. Alright, we're gonna let it simmer for about 2 minutes. Almost done. Almost done tonight, everybody. I want our tofu to have a real good chance to soak. Here's our slurry. And now it turns to a thick sauce. Alright, let's switch back over so we can get going tonight. Alright, so tonight we have a very good run here. We've got our burgers, we've got our Thai curry, Thai red curry. Now, got our mapo mushroom tofu. All of the sauce for this one. Because it'll dry out a little bit in the fridge. Hey. Wow, this was a heck of a run tonight, wasn't it? There we go. Well, so much for that. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. Really appreciate it. We had a lot. I mean, a lot of food tonight. This is looking pretty good. So I appreciate everybody coming in tonight. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Whatever's left of it for you tonight, tomorrow. Y'all have a great night, a great weekend, and we will head off in just a minute. So let's go over our wall of love real quick. Jindal and Dio, thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for everybody else that came in as well. I appreciate any and all supporters that come in. It's always a good night when I get to see everybody. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, as for raid tonight, let's see. I think we'll go say hi to Sonic. Not the Hedgehog. So we're going to go say hi to Sonic. Sonic is running Tunic tonight. So that's kind of a... I called this game The Legend of Zelda Ring. Because it was definitely Zelda 3 and Elden Ring mixed together somehow. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. So we're going to head on over there. As for raid message, if y'all have my emotes, you're welcome to use them. If you don't, that's fine too. We're going to go with our default on our cooking nights. You're welcome to cut and paste it in chat. We're going to head on over there in a minute. So thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody has a great weekend. And I hope to see you again on Monday. We'll be back on Monday and then Wednesday. I'll probably still be working on Bear and Breakfast. Have a great night, everybody. Bye now.